Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take just a couple of minutes. And yes, if I sound tired, that's because Ozzy is. And the fact is, I had a lot of sleep last night, 8 hours, and slept pretty comfortable. But today, I went outside, had some work to do. I lost track of time and everything, but I went and took care of the ducks, took care of the dogs, took care of the empty containers for the ducks and the dogs so that they could have water and all of that stuff. Woohoo! Then I had a consult with a young man. We're going to talk about part of that in a minute. And then after that, I had to go out there because we're putting my water tank. I have a 500-gallon water tank, and we're hooking that up to the pump and to the property and so forth. And had to dig the holes in the trench and all of that stuff by hand. Used a piece of equipment, but yeah, wasn't the best and brightest idea. Well, anywho, I couldn't breathe. I went out, I'm out in the middle of nowhere, and I literally could not breathe outside. Now, it's not the first time. I remember I was a kid, I was outside, I think we were doing track and field or something. I was running, and it happened twice now that I think about it. One of them, I was actually in a race. And we're in, I forgot what you call that stupid thing because I can't think about it right now, where you have 4 people in the race, relay. We were in a relay, and I always ran last in the relay because I'm the fastest. And so my sister ran in front of me because she was just as fast as I was. And so we have the first guy, he falls and really hurt us. And so I get the baton, and the other runner, all 3 of them are in front of me, and they got me by at least 50 feet. And I run as hard and as fast as I could, and I caught up to all of them. Yay! And won. And everybody's congratulating me. And I had to put my hand up and just tell them to hold on. And I had to go off to myself, and I laid out on the ground because I couldn't breathe. I'm out in the middle of nowhere. Nobody's around me. I'm in the open, and I could not breathe no matter how hard I tried. So I've been through this before. It has nothing to do with asthma. Oh, God. There are a lot of people, the first thing they think is asthma. We thought it was asthma, too. I don't have asthma. It does have everything to do with muscular dystrophy. Muscles get too weak when I get tired. Well, I'm tired. Tired. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get rid of Mr. Trump. Now, what I mean by get rid of him is it's all a distraction. He's talking about the death penalty and holding back federal funds. He's only going to be in office 3 more years. Every last one of these states. California doesn't need federal funding. Shh, don't tell nobody. California is the 5th largest economy in the world. In the world. California, just by itself. It doesn't need federal funding. But people don't realize that. California is not bankrupt, not going bankrupt anytime soon. It doesn't need federal funding. It pays more back to the federal government than any other state. And many of them combined. So, not concerned with Trump and him making it an automatic death penalty. He doesn't have that authority. I'm sorry. Oh, God. No, there's a lot of things that he's doing. Yes, he can put the military out on the street in D.C., but he cannot put the military out on the streets in regular cities. That's illegal. The military, that's why he's doing the National Guard. He's federalizing the National Guard. It's a technicality, but it's an illegal technicality. And he has a Republican Congress. So the right people are going to challenge it. But it has to happen. Sorry. There are a lot of things that he's doing that's 100% illegal. They're distractions. You got to watch what they're doing doing behind the scenes. They just announced, we're going to help Ukraine. Now he's saying he's not going to help Ukraine. I am so glad I am friends with Putin and with Xi Jinping. Now he's talking about being friends with Putin and China. China. Really? And nobody can see the sleight of hand. I can. Because it's a gimmick, it's a joke. Everybody wants to pay attention and hang on every word he says. Look, I don't dislike Trump. I dislike his business skills because he has none. Okay, he's not a genius when it comes to business. His accountants are. His businesses do not make money, but his accountants are very good. Got to give them credit. Okay, if you can find out who is it, well, you're not going to find out who the #1 accountant is. Okay, he's kept the secret on purpose. He's taken care of. All right, you've seen the movies, The Accountants. Okay, that one is taken care of. So Trump does set a standard. Got to give him credit. Can't take that away from him. Got to give him credit. He learned along the way. But as far as regular business and skills, I have no respect for him when it comes to business. Now, as a person, I don't mind Trump. People think that he's a racist. Trump is not a racist. He's an opportunist. Opportunists and racists are not the same, although they have a lot in common. Most racists are only racist when it's convenient. Okay, let me show you how racists are opportunists. Take a racist individual and drop him in the middle of Nickerson Gardens. No, just seriously. Nickerson Gardens Housing Project, Los Angeles, California. No, they're not as violent as you think. They're not as violent as you think. They will not mess with this fool unless he says something. Let him open his mouth and say something stupid. And he will not walk out of there. That I can guarantee. Other than that, he can sit right in the middle of the neighborhood. Nobody will say another word to him. Nobody will ask him, "Mother, what set you from?" They won't do none of that. Now, I haven't been there in a while. I haven't been there in over 30 years. 30 years. But it's the same climate. It hasn't changed. It hasn't changed. Everybody thinks that just because somebody is this or that and they can just go and say this. No, it ain't that way. Nobody would study that person. But I know he wouldn't open his mouth in that environment. He would only open his mouth when there's an opportunity to open his mouth where he can walk away unscathed. All right, so let's talk about something, y'all. We're going to leave all that alone. You're going to go to YouTube. You're going to type in EeoN -lesson. Done 2 videos on this already. When you go to lesson, you're going to look for lesson number, that's number 2, that's number 3, that's number 4, and that's number 1. You're going to watch lesson number 1. I seen it already. Shut up. Then you're going to watch lesson number 2 in that order. Then you're going to pay special attention to lesson number 3. That's your friend. And then lesson number 4, talking about that K1. Now remember, there's also a 1065, so you got to get familiar with the 1065 if you're going to do a 1065 K1. They're not complicated. It just seems like it's complicated because it's a tax form. This is for informational purposes, the 1099. Not this video. The 1099-C is only for informational purposes. It tells you right there on the document. Everybody thinks it's some special lucky charm because they're cuckoo for Cocoa Pops. Anywho, after you watch number 4, you're going to say, "Hey, where you at? Hey, Chris, what's up?" Y'all can go say hello to Chris. Now, I've never met Chris. I have a lot of respect for Chris. Don't know who Chris is. Chris did a video, 4 of them on TikTok. And he told you guys how to fill out a 1040V and a 1040ES. Yes. Well, you're going to go watch Chris. And you're going to monkey see, monkey do after you read the instructions for that particular set of forms. You will always go over the instructions because when the IRS comes to talk to you, that's what they're coming to talk to you about, is do you know what you're doing? They're not coming to talk to you because you did something fraudulent. They want to make sure you read the instructions. And you need to be able to spit it back to them. You ain't got to say on line 6 and line 4 and line 3. You need to be able to say, "No, I did that because of this. And the reason why I did that is because of this." Now, what's wrong with you? You telling me I can't do it that way? Well, too many other people have done it that way, so you need to put out something saying, "No, this ain't going to work no more." Because it worked up until now. For everybody else, you're singling me out. I don't appreciate it. There's only one thing about Chris. Chris tells you to endorse the back of the voucher. That's not in the rules. That's not in the instructions. Shh. Not in the rules, not in the instructions. So, Beretta, keep your eye on the sparrow. Oh, don't do it. Beretta says don't do it. Okay? Don't do it. If you don't know who Beretta is, it was a 70s series detective show with a guy named Beretta. He used to be on the Little Rascals. And man, this man had been around for a while. And he starred in a TV series called Beretta. And the theme song was, keep your eye on that sparrow. And then at the very end it says, don't do it. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so don't do it, people. If it isn't in their rules, don't do it. That's how they're getting so many people. That's how they're putting so many people in jail, because they're monkey see, monkey doing. Shame on y'all. Shame, shame, shame. They got rules. They got instructions. Just follow them. Lord have mercy, it ain't complicated. Pay attention. This one by Christopher, he saved me from having to explain it, because he gives you all of the facts. Now, he has since revised the information. Why? Pay attention. Did I go down when I should have gone up? We're going to go up, y'all. How to create a bill of exchange, no joke. Because the IRS accepts bills of exchanges. So this is video number 6. Chris is video number 5. You're going to watch it in these orders. This is video number 6. How to create a bill of exchange. And after you watch that video, what you're going to do, you're going to come down and watch the sole proprietor Schedule C and tax credits. Because each one of you were given a sole proprietor. So do you understand lessons 1, 2, 3, and 4? And then you're going to come down to Chris and say, what up, Chris? And then after you go down to Chris, you're going to come up here and learn how to do a bill of exchange. Then you're going to learn how to operate your sole proprietorship. Now, there's one more video. Hold on now. There's one last one. I skipped one. After Chris, you're going to watch 1099C and K, how they work together. That's the one I skipped. And then after you watch how the 1099, now the reason why you watch that after Chris, because lessons number 3 and 4 is 1099C and 1065K1. So that's why after Chris, you're going to come down here and watch this. And then after you watch 1099C and K1, then you're going to watch the bill of exchange, then you're going to do the sole proprietorship. Okay? In that order. There you go. You can watch all the other stuff if you want, but that's the order you're going to go in. Because this is how we do it. Okay, that's it. They're 10 minutes long. See? 9 minutes, 55 seconds. Get on out of here. And this one, Chris, he's 27 minutes. That's because he did 4 videos on TikTok and I combined them together. Okay? So that's 4 minutes each video. This one right here, nope, that's not it. This one right here, 20 minutes. This is the other video. This one is 20 minutes because of what it talks about. It talks about sole proprietorship, Schedule C's, and tax credits. Ta-da! 3 videos in one. Then all the rest of them, 9 minutes, 9 minutes, 9 minutes. I think number 4 is 10 minutes. 10 minutes, 2 seconds. And number 3, where you at? Number 2, 9 minutes. It ain't going to take you long. Shut up. You're going to watch it in this order. You're not going to skip the order. You're not going to skip it and say, I watched that 5 months ago. You want to know how to take care of your credits, how to take care of your taxes? Then follow the instructions. Read the instructions for the form. Then go back and listen to the video again. Because that's what I'm giving you, is information from the instructions, just not telling you that I'm giving you the information from the instructions. Ta-da! Oops. Educate yourself. But yourself. Don't let me. I ain't your educator. I'm not teaching you nothing. I'm just showing you what the law says. Now pay attention. My videos are different than everybody else's because you see, I show you what I'm talking about. Everything is me showing you what I'm talking about. Sometimes I don't show you anything. You see, citizenship, I didn't show you. Yes, I did. Bill of exchange, I show you. Let me show you the way. Okay? Hey, look at this. Better Understanding of the ES Form by EeoN. 1041, 1040 ES. I don't know if I'd watch this one. This one is 14 minutes long. I think that's too long for some of y'all. Ooh-wee. Might want to add that to your repertoire. We showed you how to get here. Many of you are sitting around doing nothing. Why not make this your mission? Stay on point. And then when you master this, then move on to something else. Now, I want to tell you the truth. I'm not going to lie to you. Ladies and gentlemen, I shouldn't even be sitting up right now because, like I said, it's been a horrible day. As far as breathing, I don't like feeling this way. Trying to get air and can't get air and feeling dizzy at the same time because I can't get air. I know people have asthma and their cords tighten up, but this is not, it's not that I can't breathe. Please understand, I can't get any oxygen. There's tons of air around me, but I can't breathe. I need oxygen. And they are depleting our air of oxygen. I don't know how they're doing it. I just know that they're doing it. Okay, and I know it's possible. Because I used to sell fire extinguisher, and they had a particular extinguisher that had, what is it, Raylon, I believe is the name of the chemical. And with Raylon, it literally sucks the oxygen out of the entire surroundings. They could put that in a burning building, poof, and the fire goes out immediately. But if somebody's in that building, it takes the oxygen out of their lungs too. So they have the chemicals. The reason why they don't use that in fires anymore, they only do it for the buildings like the solar farms, not solar farms, but the data farms. They use Raylon in those buildings, even though they ban everyone else from using it. Why? Because it says to damage the ozone layer. That's why you can't buy it. So they do have the means of taking oxygen out of the air. They're putting something in our environment, my opinion. Do your research. You go see. We already have enough people doing videos showing you guys about all the chemicals they're putting in our food and the combination. Look, give me 1 second. Wake up. Drink enhancers. Stop listening. See this stuff right here? Ladies and gentlemen, I can't drink this stuff. They're very low in most of the chemicals they're supposed to have. I can't drink this stuff because they add junk to it. I'm allergic to it. Literally allergic to this junk. I used to be able to drink it. I can't drink that junk no more. Especially the Walmart Great Value brand. Lord have mercy. Got to throw that junk in the trash. I did it because, hey, all you do is add it to water. And they said, you're not drinking enough water. Well, okay, that's how I got my water. Not anymore, homie. And it's not like I drink it every time. The last time I used that junk was 8 months ago. But if you go back 8 months, that's when I wasn't able to walk even at that time. Because it creates too much, what is that, citric acid. And it affects the joints. I don't have gout, but that junk, along with other stuff, gives me gout-like symptoms. That junk, it ain't food, it's these chemicals that it's made with, in combination with others. Yeah, I said it, I ain't Oprah Winfrey. I ain't talking about the beef industry and how many chemicals and parasites is in that junk. What? I don't have no sponsors? I ain't got to worry about somebody. I could say anti-Semitic stuff and they can't. Oh, no, my bad. Kanye, I'm sorry. What? I'm sorry. He said he could say anti-Semitic stuff. He didn't say anything anti-Semitic. He said he could say it. And look at what the media did to that young man. He was able to get out of that Adidas contract because it was a bad contract. He was able to get out of that contract. Why? Because eventually he talked to somebody and they helped him understand. Remember, the contract made him a billionaire. The contract made him a billionaire, but he actually had to give up too much. in order for that to be the case. He gonna be all right. Well, thank you for joining. You guys have a good day. I hope that those of you, because many of you are running into problems and you want to schedule a consult. Look, most of your problems will be gone if you go ahead and watch those videos and follow suit. Most of your problems will be gone if you go ahead and watch those videos and follow suit. There are people who need intricate communications regarding specific information. I had a young man today. He had a situation. I'm not going to tell you about his situation, but his situation was unique. Somebody was trying to set him up. Now, he knew that something was going on, but I was able to show him by the paperwork and what was being filed that they were trying to set him up. They were, because the other person was trying to get something from him, they needed to make him look like he was a bad guy. And so we had to talk about that extensively so that he could counter and prepare for their stupidity. Okay? That's what I do. My job is to outthink them for you, because you can't outthink them. Now, I know. I'm not saying you're stupid or dumb or you ain't got no intelligence or you're not smart. What I'm saying is you're by yourself. You're not thinking about this stuff all day, every day. That's just all I do. Every day. All day. Every day. Okay? So I'd rather come to me because I'm focused on this all the time. That's why you go to a defense attorney when you got a criminal charge. Because he's focused on criminal matters all the time. I would go to the person who specializes. Now, look, there are certain things you don't hear me talking about on YouTube. So I would ask if that is something I'm willing to cover. People usually find that, nah, he talked about that a while ago, but there's a better way of doing it. There's a lot I'd like to discuss with you guys right now, but like I said, I have to go lay down. Tired. And I really am tired. I'm not just tired, I'm exhausted. Now, let me explain to you about exhaustion. My mother used to come home from work, and she would just flop back into the chair. She literally was exhausted from taking care of us, from going out there and working and trying to manage a 7-child family by herself, especially when my father died. So I understand exhaustion and fatigue. That I'm not going to complain. This is not me complaining, please. This is me saying, but this is what I go through. But this is what I go through. Sometimes I feel like I'm the only one. Have a good day, y'all. I just wish that would stop happening because I don't want to see that stuff. Bye-bye.